how can I lose weight and still eat a variety of foods that I love? So today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite budget-friendly restaurant and fast food options that helped me lose my first 10 pounds and more. Hey everyone, if this is your first time here, my name is Suzanne and I've lost 30 pounds over 50 over the last year and a half. I'm currently trying to lose the next 10 pounds and I love to share everything that I'm learning with you so that you can do the same. So hopefully I'm going to give you some ideas, some choices that you haven't thought about before. So the first thing, and probably I think the cheapest I've found as far as fast food, but super delicious and can be modified to fit a ketogenic diet, is the hot dogs at Costco or Sam's Club. What I do with these is I just simply toss the bun and I will just eat the hot dog. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of shredded cheese to it, slice it up, and then add a little bit of mayo to it, and it is super delicious. Now, one of the downsides of that is there is a membership typically. So for me, it cost $60 for a year to get it. Last year, I actually didn't re-up the membership because I found I wasn't going back and buying them enough to make it worth it for me. But for a lot of people, you already might have a Costco or Sam's Club membership. And so this is a great option if you're out and about shopping and you really want something salty and delicious. It also comes with a soda, so you could get a diet soda, no sugar. Now you won't be able to add the cheese or the mayo while you're at Costco. I typically bring mine home and then I'll eat it at home. But if you're in a pinch and you need something to eat for cheap, for $1.50, you can go grab one of those hot dogs. Now, one thing I want to point out here, and this is really important, one thing that I learned along the way is that any of these foods are going to tend to have a higher calorie count than something that you could make at home. So you always have to keep in mind and be aware of how many calories are in each of these foods. So for me, like a Costco hot dog, I usually would split it in half. And then I would add my cheese and a little bit of mayo, and I would try to craft it to fit within my normal calorie target for a meal. Another thing is most fast foods and restaurant foods have a lot more sodium in them to make them taste good than what you would have if you were to cook something at home. What that means for me is that I will likely see a little bit of a weight gain on the scale the next morning, even though it was a keto food. But I also know that after a day or two, that sodium gets flushed out and then my weight always comes back down again. Now, if you don't like hot dogs and you're at Costco or Sam's Club, another thing you can buy is a slice or two of pizza. And what I do is I just take the cheese and the pepperoni off the pizza and I just eat that. And yeah, I'm throwing a lot of the bread away, but I actually don't enjoy the crust that much anyway. So just having the cheese and the pepperoni for me is quite satisfying. Now, the second fast food keto option is hamburgers. So hands down, I'm pretty sure McDonald's is the cheapest hamburger or cheeseburger you can get out there. And they are very keto friendly now. If you ask them for a bunless cheeseburger or hamburger, they will actually put it on lettuce and tomato for you if you ask, and give you some mayonnaise. And they put it in like one of those little pancake containers, like the containers they used to put pancakes in. And instead they'll put that in there and they'll give you a fork and a knife. And I use McDonald's a lot when I'm out running errands because it's really cheap. I don't need a membership for it. And a lot of times when I'm leaving the gym and I'm going to go run some errands, I will go to McDonald's and get 1 or 2 cheeseburgers. And there is a way to save a little bit more money with those. So you can either get a double cheeseburger or you can get a McDouble. And I'm pretty sure the double cheeseburger is actually cheaper. I don't know why. They're literally almost the same thing, but one of them is actually cheaper than the other, especially if you get it on the app. Now, I'm not a real app or techie person. I don't like to keep a lot of apps on my phone, but I have my little shopping and workout buddy, my daughter, and she loves to keep all the apps on her phone. And so when we go through the drive-thru, she just goes on the McDonald's app and she orders it for me, and she figures out for me which one's cheaper, and she just takes care of all of that for me. And it makes it super easy to get a quick keto meal when I'm out and about, so I'm not tempted to try to eat something else. Now, a little bit higher end burger that I absolutely love, but I don't get them very often because they're definitely a little more expensive, probably around the $6 or $7 range, depending on where you live. And that is Shake Shack. Shake Shack is hands down my favorite burger anywhere, especially for the price point. And again, you can just get it veggie style where they put it inside of a lettuce wrap and eat it like that. You can get a single patty or a double patty. It's really up to you. It's a little bit better deal if you get the double patty. So if you're a little hungrier and you think you're going to need a little extra food, then you can get that one. Now, if you're not at McDonald's, you're not at Shake Shack, but maybe you're at a restaurant and you just love burgers like I do, pretty much every restaurant will have a hamburger option, and all you have to do is just let them know that you want that particular burger without a bun. Be careful and make sure that you're watching out for whatever sauces they're putting on and not putting a sugary sauce on there that would have carbohydrates in it. Sometimes I'll still have a little bit of that sauce anyway, like maybe on the side, and then I could just dip it because the sauces typically don't add up to a lot of carbs if you're really careful about how much you're using. Now, the third option is breakfast. There's a couple different options here. I love Burger King's croissant sandwiches, but obviously I can't have the croissant on there, so I can instead have the sausage, egg, and cheese, or I can have the bacon, egg, and cheese, whichever I prefer. Typically for me, I prefer the sausage. And that's a pretty inexpensive way to get a little breakfast item in the morning. Now, TBH, to be honest, I do love their little round hash browns, but if I'm going to pick up something keto, then I will have to forego the hash browns. If I am having more of a splurge, like maybe I'm on vacation or it's the holidays and we've gone a little bit off plan for a day or two, I might add in those hash browns and enjoy those because they are pretty good. Another breakfast option that you can pretty much have at any diner or restaurant that offers breakfast options is you can get an omelet, and you can pretty much put whatever you want in the omelet, any type of veggies. Of course, you have the eggs, the cheese, you can have sour cream. Usually they'll give you a pretty big omelet, or you can have eggs and bacon, eggs and sausage. You're just gonna basically forego any of those pancakes or syrup or biscuits or any of those type of carbohydrates that go along with it. So some of the examples would be IHOP. You can get this at Denny's, Big Bear Diner, just anywhere where they carry a breakfast menu. And the fourth thing, one that I choose very often, is Chipotle. What's really great about Chipotle is you can pick all of the items that you want within either your bowl or your burrito. I always get the bowl. I will get the grilled steak, and then I will have them add on a lot of extra cheese. I will literally ask them, can you put on extra cheese? And Chipotle is very accommodating and will add extra of an ingredient, except for the meat. You will have to pay for that if you get double meat, which sometimes I will just to save a little bit of money. It'll actually give me 2 servings, and then I can enjoy it twice, 2 different meals once I get it home. So for me, it's steak and cheese, but they have chicken, they have pork. You get to choose the meat that you want. My fifth go-to is at Arby's. I will get the Greek gyro, which has lamb's meat in it, along with lettuce, tomato, their sauce. I will just simply take the pita wrap off, and then I'll usually bring it home and add all of those ingredients without the wrap to a little bit extra shredded lettuce or tomato and onion, and kind of just beef it up a little bit more with the vegetables just to make it a little bit more filling. Those gyros are super delicious. Usually I will save Arby's for when my husband and my kids want to go to Arby's for different items. I wouldn't typically go out of my way for Arby's, but it's great to have some options at restaurants that you don't always go to, just in case some or one of your family members wants to go out to a place that you don't typically eat keto at. Number 6 is Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is a sub sandwich place, but they do have an option called the Unwich, and that is where you can take any sub on their menu, which most of the sub without the bread is just meat and cheese, veggies, and like mayo, vinegar, oil. You can have all those things on keto, and they wrap it in a lettuce wrap for you. I will usually ask for a little bit of extra mayo, and they'll give me extra mayo packets because I just like to have a little bit more of that on my sub sandwich. Number 7 is if you want to have a steak. Steak is a great keto food, and I like to have a nice, juicy, fatty steak on special occasions. So whenever we opt to go have a steak, we will go to the Outback. And I particularly love their prime rib because it has a lot of marbling and fat in it, and I just like fattier meats. My husband will opt more for like the filet or a leaner steak himself. And then you can choose with that to have a green salad. And Outback, I think, has the best ranch dressing I have ever tasted. So I love their salad because they give us really yummy ranch, and ranch is typically pretty low carb, especially if you get it on the side, which I usually will get it on the side. And then I can choose how much, again, I put on my salad to where it tastes good to me, but I don't have to overdo it. Now, if it's a special occasion again, and you're just treating yourself and you want to have a couple of bites of their mashed potatoes are great. And then sometimes I will also have a little bit of their bread with butter, but I only do that when it's a special occasion and I know that I'm going to have a treat meal, which I do. I'm a big believer of incorporating an occasional treat meal just to be able to enjoy life a little bit. Not that I don't enjoy being on the keto diet. I couldn't have lost 30 pounds on it if I didn't enjoy it. But sometimes, and I mean sometimes, like not like even a weekly occurrence, it's nice to go out with the family and not have to worry too much about what I'm eating. Now, in saying that, we always have to be careful about how much we're eating, not necessarily what we're eating. While you can eat pretty much anything you want and lose weight and reach your goal, you can't have everything you want. It's really a quantity issue. So that takes you getting to know yourself and knowing, okay, how much do I need and can I live with, but at the same time lose weight? And the seventh restaurant, this is one of my favorite go-tos. It's probably the most expensive restaurant I go to the most often, and that is the Cheesecake Factory. My husband and I will go to the Cheesecake Factory and we will share the chicken Madeira. It is a grilled chicken breast, but it has a yummy Madeira sauce on it, and they top it with cheese and some asparagus. They do serve it with a side of mashed potatoes. Sometimes I will have a bite or two of that. And you have to remember too that keto is actually up to 50 grams of carbs. So if you don't overdo it with the carbs at a nice dinner, say you say, okay, I'm just gonna have a couple bites, and you trust yourself to be able to really do that, you can have a couple bites and you're probably not likely going to go over that 50 grams of carbs per day. You're still going to be able to stay within keto. Now, sometimes if my husband feels like eating the whole dish, then I will get the factory nachos. And what I will do is I will literally remove the chips. I will not eat the chips. I'll just eat all of the toppings on top of the chips, which actually is the best tasting part anyway. And that includes, like, I'll get grilled chicken. They top it with shredded cheese, melted cheese, guacamole, sour cream, salsa, and then I'll just eat a lot of the toppings. And of course, if you've ever seen it, the plate is huge. So even without the chips, you're still getting a lot of food. And I still have to be careful to make sure that I don't overeat, because it's really easy to overeat even on like the cheese and all the great tasting part of the nachos. Another option I've gotten at Cheesecake Factory is their bunless burger. If you ask them for a burger without the bun, they have a term for it. I don't remember what it is, but they just put it on a bed of lettuce with tomato. Their burgers are great. So always a go-to option if you're at the Cheesecake Factory and you don't like the first two options. And if it's a special occasion and you have the Cheesecake Factory app, they do offer a free slice of cheesecake on your birthday. And sometimes they'll also email you deals on a slice of cheesecake for a special occasion. So keep that in mind, one way to save money. If you're gonna have dinner, if you're not gonna have it, maybe one of your family members could use it, but just another way that you can save money there. All right, well, leave a comment down below if you thought of any meals that you like that are either budget friendly or they're just keto, but you eat them while eating out, just different options, because variety really is key in sticking to these weight loss plans and still being able to enjoy the food that you're eating. I'm currently trying to lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And if you want to follow that transformation, as soon as those videos are ready, I'm going to go ahead and put one up here for you, and you can go ahead and see how I'm doing that.